you are given the price equation, which I've written on the screen. Part A says what should be charged. Well, that means you're trying to find price for the units in stock. And it says how much should be charged for television set if there are 60 television sets. So all you do, this is a calculator problem, what you do is you plug in 60, because X is the number of TV sets, plus 200. So use your calculator. That's negative 0.2 times 60 plus 200, and that gives you 188. So the price should be $188. Part B. What quantity, so you're trying to find X, will maximize revenue, and then what is the maximum revenue? So we need to come up with a revenue equation. Well, how do you bring in money? What is revenue? Revenue is the number of units sold times the price of each one. So if you sell 70 pair of shoes and each pair costs $10, I know that's not realistic, but your revenue would be $700. So your revenue equation is X times price, and we already have a price equation, negative 0.2X plus 200. So your revenue equation is negative 0.2x squared plus 200x. And the question says, what quantity will maximize revenue? Well, this revenue equation is quadratic, and the graph of a quadratic is a parabola. And since this is negative 0.2, we know it opens down. So the maximum occurs at the vertex. And we have a formula to find the vertex, x equals negative b over 2 times a. So you get your a and b from the revenue equation. A is negative 0.2 and b is 200. So negative b would be negative 200 divided by 2 times a negative 0.2. Once again, I'm going to use my calculator. And I have negative 200 divided by 2. Of course, we know that's going to be a negative 100. And then divide that by a negative 0.2. And that's 500. So 500 units. And then that's your X. That's your quantity. And the maximum revenue, well, what you want to do is take your revenue equation and substitute in 500 for X. And that's negative 0.2 times 500 squared plus 200 times 500. So let me see, 500 squared times a negative 0.2 plus a 200 times a 500, and that's 50,000. So this is your maximum revenue, 50,000, and your number of units was 500. What C says? C says what price? Well, what equation are we going to use? If it says what price, we're going to use the price equation, which is that one right there. What price should be charged? You order the maximum in order to maximize revenue. Well, to find price, you have to give it an X value, and they want it to be the price where you maximize revenue. And how much was the number of units that maximize revenue? 500. So plug in 500, so that's 0.2, negative 0.2 times 500 plus 200. So your price will be negative 0.2 times 500 plus 200. Your price is going to be $100.